in the next blueprint that he's planning, what is your recommendation? What are the elements that should be included to ensure that we solve the issues that you have just mentioned?
Well, I think top of the list is the KPI of the academic. Okay, the KPI of the academic is still linked with numbers, numbers of research, numbers of papers. I mean, I'm in here. Okay, I don't do those numbers, and that's why I'm the what do you call it, the extinct person lah. Okay, and I'll be, you know, like a dinosaur going to go extinct. The point here is that you're looking at numbers, but then you're not saying, okay, let's say certain number of publication, that's fine. But then how do you actually explain this to the public? We have the social media. I mean, I have over 100 YouTube out there. The point here is that it's not about popularity. It's about what they say, Prof. I never knew Islam was very, open like that. I said, you are 70 years old. You've never heard a Muslim this? No, I've never heard. You know, I mean, how sad I am to hear something. I hear this all the time in my public talk. So the first is the KPI, so that you can explain things. If you click on the social media, how many doctorates or professors or associate professor would you see? You know, in the
I
social
mean, I've
media.
not seen that.
You know, I
But locally,
you
not
know,
locally.
yeah, we were to ask you six the names of six professors who would constantly be giving commentary aside from me and Terence, Professor Terence. Who else is there? You know, and this is what really worries me. We have 3,000 professors. You know, Vinod. Where are these people? So you can see here that our communication is very very. I mean, it's not there in terms of the so-called what we are achieving. Now, of course, there was one particular professor who went on to become a very high-ranking officer. He said this when she said this when I asked, look, we need to have explain to the public. Oh, no, really, Prof. The public, they don't know how to, understand what we are doing. They want to know about hantu, ghosts, and mat rempits. She actually said that. You know, she went on to be a very, very, I won't name names, but she went on to be very high in the education ministry. Okay, so she said that. So the point here is that it's an elitist discussion among academic, the shop sendiri lah, you know, and this is where you talk about whatever problem that we have in this country. You can't even name names to actually who's the authority on flood, who's the authority on dengue, who's the authority on mental health, who's the authority on obesity, who's the authority on race relation, who's the authority on such things like religion and things like that.
So sorry, Prof, but you are saying that you would like to see more professors, more academicians partake in social discourse as part of
Yes,
the new blueprint. Is that what you're
that's
saying?
right. That's right. That's right.
Okay.
And this is actually not specifically mentioned. It should be specifically mentioned so that it's clear. What they say is that kita harus memasyarakatkan ilmu. But then what I'm hearing in reports of, I'm on the board of governors of, UKM and also at the private university senate meeting, numbers and numbers and numbers and numbers. I don't have any sense where we are doing. A previous vice chancellor of UCSI, he had passed away, I think, a year ago, Khalid Yusuf. He would always talk about where are we going as a nation, and he would always put some values to the research that we are doing. He said that we need to be very meaningful. If not, I mean, we can't just be having this matrix of numbers and evaluations and what they call high impact. You know, high impact simply means a few people read it and it is produced by some journal somewhere else, then that's high impact. I mean, this kind of thing, we are going to strangle ourselves with non-dissemination of information. So this is something. Then there is also about books. Nobody writes books. Okay. Tun Wan Junaidi, the one that I read, the policeman, he said that when he became a member of parliament, he loves writing. He went to find out about when he became speaker. He said, "There's no book on parliament. Okay, there's no book on parliament, and we have political science people." Oh, I mean, for God knows how long, he wrote the book, and that's going to be the next book I read. It's about the Malaysian parliament, the history. I think it's like 400 or 500 pages a book. So
mm,
this is
mm,
something that is also worrying, because a book is about not just facts, it's a conversation, it's about experience. You cannot put a lot of these things in a journal paper. Only in the book that you can carry on a kind of a discourse within yourself. All the experience that you have for 40, 30 years, you put it in there.
mm,
Okay, so
mm,
you can't put it in a journal. And so this, the art of reading books, no longer exists in the PhD student. They just cite papers upon papers, and then they cite books. They say, "Have you read that book?" No, you just maybe a short chapter of it enough for them to cite. So they don't actually have the whole philosophic stand
mm,
about the thing, and so they just go into a small part of the research to get their PhD, and they are unable to philosophize a wider picture. It's very worrying when you have
mm,
senior professors can't even put two words about how or where we are heading into the future. You can find a lot of these books if you go to Kinokuniya, all the Masala books,
yeah,
where we're
yeah,
heading,
yeah.
okay, and things like that. What's going to happen into the future? Try to find what's going to happen in Malaysia in 20, 30 years in terms of our lifestyle and the, I mean, who's going to be writing these things? And this is not really looked upon as a very high achieving aspect of academia.